Could you explain who you are to Koreans?
Yes, my name is Nick Balcom Raleigh, and I am a project researcher at Finland Futures Research Center.
And how long you been with the Finland Futures Research Center? What is it?
I've been working there since 2015, and I first got involved with it as a master's student in our master's program in future studies, and recently graduated from that program in 2017, and now work there as a project researcher.
Oh, I see. So how long you been known Sik Heinonen?
I've known Sirka Heinonen through the whole master's program, and she was my thesis supervisor, one of my two thesis supervisors, and I worked with her during my internship. So she was actually the one who hired me into the research center.
Oh.
And she's really commendable and awesome futurist, very inspiring.
And she's sort of retired at the moment?
Officially, but you know, she's quite busy and still very active in our field and our community.
Okay. So could you just tell us about future studies or futures work or foresight, anything you could come up with in Finland?
So in Finland, we have the lucky benefit of many people already being aware of foresight and future studies. Of course, like any place, there are many people who are unaware. But there are enough people where when I tell people that I have a master's degree in future studies, they don't laugh at me, which could happen at home. I'm actually from the United States originally. They would say, how can you study the future? The future hasn't happened yet, all the usual things that we hear. But in Finland, you get far fewer of those types of questions, and people are generally respectful and accepting of the fact that our field is real, and we produce some valuable insights for knowledge creation and for society.
You have a Futures Committee as well in the Parliament.
Yeah, that's correct. The Futures Committee in Parliament is one of the very first ones ever established, and it's required to exist. So it's in the law, it's in the way that the country is organized. So every year there is a parliament of the Parliamentary Committee of the Future, and its job is to produce a report both for the Parliament and also towards the Prime Minister's office. And this is intended to help the country and the national government keep future issues in mind as they move forward with their work.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I've invited them over to Korea about 8-9 years ago, about 14 of them, and Finnish ambassador
Yeah.
threw out a big party, dinner party for them, and they were very impressed by the being in the Korean Parliament. They looked at everywhere and they loved it.
Yeah, and a lot of people come to visit the Committee for the Future as well. This is one of the I can't remember the number, but like quite a few other nations will come and visit and ask them how they operate and what they do, and they are happy to accept those visitors and show them what they're doing.
And Finland had just finished with the UBI program for 2 years. And what other general people think of it? Finnish people, do you know?
Well, I mean, it's not my exact expertise exactly what's happened with that. I know that there was some skepticism about the design of the pilot, but it's not like it's not overall universal basic income, but it's actually targeted towards a random sample of unemployed or previously unemployed people, and so it was. It wasn't like what we would call like the dreamed of sort of basic income where everybody is receiving the basic income, but it was more targeted and like
2,000 people only.
And 2,000 people, yeah. I know that you're actually a little bit more aware of like some of the details about this than I am.
Yeah.
But I think that all in all, I would say that many of the people I know are quite excited by the concept of basic income and very interested in what that can do. But then they're just not entirely sure how it would work. And I think one of the things in Finland that's very usual is that there's a high concern for equality and fairness. So there would be, I think, a worry that people would have is that a basic income might reduce the benefits of some people who might need more benefits. So like if a person has special additional needs, like will those be attended to and things like that. But that's only like my own views. It's like
As an American who is living in, you Finnish at the moment, or are you American?
I'm an American living in Finland. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's also been interesting. I mean, of course, my home country has near zero social safety kind of stuff. So.
And you are thinking of telling me some interesting story. What was that about?
I was going. You were kind of. I think. What was I going to tell you? Is this going to be edited? I'm just mumbling.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. We were talking a bit about future of work, and I think this is an interesting topic, and it's not a topic I'm actively researching right now. But one of the things that we've been talking about in the Finland Futures Research Center is the importance of this emerging management strategy or format called self-organization. And the FFRC is, practically speaking, not necessarily technically or on paper, but practically speaking, is organized in this way. And also, there are several cases now around the world of companies that are organized this way. Basically, what it means is that all of the power, or as much power as possible, is put to the front of the organization. So wherever the organization is in contact with other organizations, that's where autonomy and power lives. And that means that if somebody who's working with a client identifies that the client has some specific need that they're not meeting, then that staff person can do exactly what is necessary to meet that need. And it can lead to a great deal of value creation, and it can also lead to a lot greater meaning and fulfillment in the employee's life. So this is a concept that's really described well in a book called Reinventing Organizations, and we've been looking to see how that could apply or has applied at companies in Finland. And researchers who've been working on it at the center include Sophie Kirkki and Markku Valenius, and maybe a couple others.
You have some sort of success stories? Anybody?
Success in foresight or success?
Your self-organization.
Oh, in self-organization. Well, in the Reinventing Organizations book, there's this case of a nursing company in Netherlands called Burzog, and they basically put all of the a lot of these care programs for elderly people or for basically like there's this idea of like care at home is a really good idea for handling care to elders, and this idea is oftentimes like really top-down managed, but in this Burzog company, they provide the nursing through the self-organized way, and so the nurses actually have all the autonomy and power and decision-making to best meet the needs of their clients. So if they find out that a client has some specific concerns or medical conditions that seem to be emerging, they have the power to make something happen to address the need. And this isn't done just like in an anarchy sort of way, but it's more of a collective sort of way. So like they might talk to their peer group of other nurses and like discuss what the best strategies are, and they might share knowledge.